Um, should you pay for a book? This is a very controversial topic, and I'm going to tell you what I think, and you can agree or disagree. Um, I think it depends, and that's up to you. And I'm not going to tell you what to do, but this is what I would do if I were living in an economy that was not a part of the Western economy. I would not. I would not pay for books. I would get books published in the West any way I could, including some ways that would be considered illegal in the United States, even though the country I'm in it would not be considered illegal. Would I pirate those books if I lived in an economy in a country that did not that I was not a part of the Western economy? Yeah, absolutely. I totally would. Do I think that's justified? I personally think that's justified. There's many people who disagree. Um, and I'm just telling you what I would do. However, I am a member of a very solid Western economy. I'm also a white man in America. So, I have benefited from all the entitlements that come from that. I don't mean that to be a political statement. I'm just a statement of fact. I'm very well paid. So I pay for books. And I recently paid $40 for the Head for C book, which we're going to do in the beginner boost. And there's another video about that. And I have no problem doing that and encouraging people to do that. And my advice is, and not advice, what I would do if you are a member of a Western economy, and particularly if you're employed, then I think you should. I think you should pay. I really do. And do I like the system? Do I like that people are charging 40, 50, $100 for a book in academia that's absolute crap? No, I don't like that. And that students are being forced to buy it. So there is one caveat to this, or one exception, I'll say. I'll tell a story. There's a university professor who shall remain unnamed, good friend, uh, not really a direct friend, somebody I've never met, but they were teaching their students, and in their curriculum, they literally included a paragraph that says, okay, here's the official place to go get the book, and this is where you're supposed to go get it. And the price tag is something like $160 for this book. It's absolutely outrageous, because they know they have a monopoly on the book. And the writers who are writing academic books are writing them for the people that are going to force them to be purchased. They're not writing them for the people who are going to do the learning. It's really sad. That's just how it is. And so this professor put a paragraph in their syllabus that says there are alternative ways of acquiring this book, which is basically saying, if you're going to pirate this overpriced piece of crap academic book that I am forced to follow because my college says we have to use it, go for it. Now, so again, this is a very personal decision. Every single one of you is going to have to make the decision. A few people in my chat have said things that I straight up categorically disagree with. People have said things like, all books should be free. I disagree with that. That's like saying that, everybody should work for free. And as a content creator, and as somebody who spends a tremendous amount of time trying to get the perfect outline or the perfect thing. Now, I don't charge for any of my content other than what people can give me and subscribe to and all that stuff. And that's for a different reason, which I will talk about. But to say that all books should be free, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. That's like saying that, nobody should be paid. To be fair, if all books could be free and the authors of those books could still be could feed their families because they were being paid in some other way, sort of like if a teacher were paid some other way than by the students. As far as the students are concerned, the education is free, but the people who are at providing the education are still able to feed their families. The idea that certain professions or certain things do not warrant money makes me crazy. Thank you for finding me on YouTube. And I just want to say that really drives me crazy, because as much as I am a pro open source and a free and open source kind of person, I draw the line when Stallman in his comparison says, if you bring cookies to school, you should share all your cookies. And then he says, if you bring software to school, you should give a copy of your software to everybody. Disagree completely. 100% strong disagree with that. There would be, in a world where you can't feed your family or you can't feed yourself unless you are given an exchange of energy in the form of money for the stuff that you do, telling someone that what they do has less value than somebody else because you think you should get it for free is wrong. And I strongly disagree with that. Does that make me a libertarian or a communist or a capitalist kind of melange? I guess I am, and I've been a free and open source guy for a very long time. And I tell you what, it's anyway. So books should not be free. If somebody wants to charge for a book, fine. Now it depends on the demographic, right? So let me just conclude with a story, and I'm going to tell you why my content is free. And strictly speaking, it's not free, right? I have two stories here regarding content and why my content is free, and with regard to the book thing and whether you should get that book and how you should do it. So the first story is I received, and I already told the story to everybody on the chat, so I'm going to repeat it. I received about a 2-page email from somebody in Fiji who had gone through my YouTube stuff and found some of the other thing, and it triggered their own autodidactic practice, and they went from being a farmer to being a technologist who was supporting their extended family in Fiji. And they were gushing with gratitude. And when I heard about that, that solidified the reason that I didn't do this. Another quick version of the story: I had the parent who was in the finance industry of a person tell me that I was undercharging and that I should charge triple for the one-on-one mentoring that I was doing, and I said no, because that would prevent a lot of people from even coming. So I charge piano lesson rates $50 an hour. So my consideration, the reason that this YouTube video is free, and the reason it's really not, right, because there's ads, and the reason that my skillset.io is going to be free, and I probably am not going to do a Udemy or any of that, is because I don't want to raise the bar above the economy of people in Fiji or Malaysia or wherever they might be who want to change their stars. And what's really unfortunate is members of the Western economy very frequently choose not to take advantage of these resources, or even worse, to devalue them because they're free. One of the biggest mistakes you could ever make is to think that because something's free, it's not valuable. Happens all the time. I've been told over and over again, my wife and I, we talk about this a lot. My wife is an artist, and she's regularly told you need to quadruple your prices for your art, because if you don't value it, then nobody else is going to value it either. That might be human nature. It still sucks, and I don't believe in it. So I'm not going to raise my, because I want people to feel like they can use the content. I'm also really messy and sloppy in the production of my content. And if I were charging, if I were going to charge a $40 a video or a book, I would expect a certain much higher level of editing, which unfortunately doesn't exist in some of these books. I'm not going to go there. So pay for the book. Pay for the book if you can. If you're in the Western economy, you make your own decisions. Sometimes you can get a good deal on them. I'll make a separate video about why I think getting a tech book is almost always a bad choice. There are obvious exceptions to that, but almost always buying a tech book is a mistake, because you can get that content someplace else. You just don't know where to go to get the content. But there are some very strong exceptions to that. And one of those is the Head First Sea book, and we're going to talk about that. So make sure you watch that video. This has been a very tough video to make, but the takeaway of the video is, if you can't pay, maybe pay when you can. But human nature is to not pay for things, even when they have the money. So just a reminder, if you have the money, you should pay. Bye.